first ever video podcast with my guys, with my friends Nachiket and Yash. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Cricket Corner podcast with me, Vatsal Vora, and the two or four mentioned friends of mine. We are taking a little break from our Ashes scheduling because there are more important things to talk about. And judging by the T-shirt I have worn, you guys can already, and obviously the title's already there, so you don't need to guess. We are talking about the India versus West Indies test match. We are previewing it today. We have Nachiket and Yash, as I already mentioned, who have been a regular part of this podcast whenever we are talking all things Indian cricket. Nachiket, welcome back.
Thanks, man.
Welcome back, Yash. How's it going?
All good. How are you? Must be excited after that win.
Yes, yes, yes. Ashes is really going very well. Not only for someone like me who prefers England and likes watching them, but also for neutrals. It's been really fun series, hasn't it? Like really close games, Nachiket.
All three games,
Yeah,
blockbuster. Or even for a neutral, it's not good for the ones supporting either Australia or England. But for us
yeah,
neutrals like me and Yash, it's been an absolute treat. Our weekends
yes,
have been sorted.
yes, and that's the sad part now that Ashes has spoiled us so much that we have now got to wait 9 days for the fourth test match. But hey, for the time being, India is back on our tellies and we are facing West Indies in the first test match, first of two, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, two test match series, and first one happening in Dominica. Yash, it's really good to have India back playing because Ashes can be like 10 on 10, but we still want India playing. We miss our country. And are you looking forward to the new World Test Championship cycle?
Yes, like if after the disappointing back-to-back WTC, so we have
Yes.
a new squad. They are ready for the next set of challenges, be it Test
Mm-hmm.
match or any other series as well. And West Indies, to be very honest, I don't see that very competitive for India.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah.
should be a good start, and especially all the players that have been rested as well. They are having their jolly time in the
Mm-hmm.
beaches. So
Yes.
so it's going to be a good series overall. We
Yeah.
might see some new faces, some familiar faces returning.
I am excited for the series not only because I think we have had a good 1 month break, which is not usually what you associate with Team India because like every 15, 20 days we have a game, we have a series. One of the team is playing in Sri Lanka, one of the other team might be playing in another corner of the world. But Nachiket, uh, West Indies for me is something that, well, not no disregard to West Indies, but as Yash already mentioned, it's kind of a relatively weak side. Now, as an Indian fan, we shouldn't be boasting about weakness and stuff like that because we are coming off a World Test Championship final defeat to Australia. But then again, is West Indies a tour that one might see as trial and error, a few players here and there, take it a little, not say easy, but we obviously want to win because in the end it's going towards the World Test Championship points tally. But still, it's like a trial and error thing, isn't it? You want to see likes of Yashasvi Jaiswal, you want to see new players coming in all the time.
Yes, even selectors are seeing it as a chance to, have a couple of new combinations in the team
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't think that they would have made this decision of, dropping Pujara if, let's say, an England was coming in and Australia was
Hmm.
coming in or a New Zealand was coming in. But they have seen this tour as a chance for the youngsters in the test format to come in and just, try to make their mark. It's a great chance for someone like Yashasvi Jaiswal, at such a young age, has had a great name for himself, and also
Hmm.
Ruturaj Gaikwad if he gets a chance in the 11, and a couple of pacers
Yes.
too, someone like Mukesh Kumar, Jaydev Unadkat, Navdeep
Hmm.
Saini to try and fill that void of a backup pacer if needed. So it is a series that even the selectors are seeing as a chance to try some new combinations as they do not challenge India in terms of quality, but of course they can give us a challenge in bits and pieces in certain sessions in certain face-offs.
Yes, yes. To be honest with you, West Indies is kind of a team that usually doesn't perform at the highest level, but there have been some good players, and there are some good players in the squad. Like on top of my head, they have a really good bowling lineup in the form of Shannon Gabriel. There's Kemar Roach, Alzari Joseph is there, Jason Holder. Household players who are familiar, who Indians would be familiar because they play in the IPL as well. They usually do quite well, but on the contrary, West Indies, I would say, is a winnable tour. I think, don't get me wrong, but yeah, they have got some quality in there, as I mentioned. But yes, coming to you here, and because we have been talking about how disappointing the World Test Championship final was, and this is like a fresh new start. Not only this is a new cycle in the World Test Championship, 2023 to 2025 cycle, but it's like there's this aura of new things coming. We have like the new kits, we have the new like I feel like it's a fresh new beginning. But do you do you think that these it West Indies is probably the right place to give these players? Because Nachiket kind of brushed it on, but I wanted to know your opinions as well on the same.
So we have players like Navdeep Saini or even
Yeah.
Ishan Kishan, Yashasvi
Hmm.
Jaiswal, Shubman Gill. So these guys, they could use a good series outside of India as well to some brush up their technique, get
Hmm.
familiar to the game, get some quick runs, and like then it would be an easy way into the team as well. For me, I think I'm waiting to see Yashasvi Jaiswal in action. We saw how good he played in
Yes. In Yeah,
so I
yeah, yeah.
think he should get a chance in the first test.
Yes. So for those of you who don't know, all three of us, along with one of our friends, Dwij, recorded a podcast, I guess 2 or 3 weeks back, where we reacted to the squad which was announced for this West Indies Test series. I'll link it in the description if you want to go back and listen to our views on the likes of Ruturaj Gaikwad, Yashasvi Jaiswal getting picked ahead of Priyank Panchal and Sarfaraz Khan, those kind of people. And I think we gave quite a good reasoning to why we see these players instead of the aforementioned Sarfaraz Khan and the lot. But yeah, it's kind of a stepping stone, if you know what I mean. Like give Yashasvi Jaiswal and the others a platform to showcase their potential in the whites of Test cricket. Let's talk about the match which is right up ahead of us, and it's starting on the 12th of July, if I'm not wrong, and it's going to take place in Dominica. Now, I have some notes on my phone right here, and I was researching about this Dominica thing, and there hasn't been a test match there since 2017, where Pakistan visited West Indies back in 2017. Now, I don't know how the pitch plays because two Pakistani bowlers, I should say, picked up a 5 wicket haul. One was Mohammad Abbas, one was Yasir Shah. One is a fast bowler, one is a spinner. So you never know what kind of pitch they are. But Nachiket, regardless of the pitch, you want to see the best lineup possible, because we made a mistake of not picking Ashwin, and in the hindsight, if we had picked Ashwin in the World Test Championship final, I'm not saying things could have been different, but I assume India would have been in a lot stronger position. Now that's why I talked about the conditions here, because we are not aware on how these things are going to play, but you want to still play your best team.
Correct, but if you also look at the home team selection, I guess they are only going in with two spinners. One is a left-arm
Uh,
orthodox spinner, and one is, of course, Rakeem Cornwall.
yeah.
So they are the two spinners in the entire squad for the first test. So if that is something to go by, I think that two Indian spinners would be more than enough
More than enough.
to,
Yeah.
yeah. And add to that, we can play Shardul as a third seamer or as an all-rounder to add some more depth in this batting. So I guess the
Are you
combination might be,
Sorry to
yeah,
cut you off there. Sorry to cut you off. Are you implying that it is Akshar Patel who misses out instead of Jadeja? Because I'm backing Ashwin to play regardless of the
absolutely.
team composition.
Yes, I'd go with Ashwin and Jadeja as the two
Yeah.
spinners. It's always should be between Akshar and Shardul. As if the conditions favor, let's say we need a pacer, Shardul Thakur is absolutely the go-to guy. And
Yeah.
let's say if we need a spinner, third spinner, Akshar Patel can be there in place of him.
Yes. Yeah, sure. We wanted to we talked about the venue, Dominica, where we are going to play. And as I mentioned, that no team has played a test match there since 2017. India themselves last played there in 2011. And the only player in the squad, guess who was that?
Virat Kohli.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Virat Kohli was the only one who played in that game, alongside some absolute legends. Like there was Mahendra Singh Dhoni as the captain. There was Rahul Dravid, VVS Lakshman, Murli Vijay, and the sort. So, coming to my point, not many, not many, I should say, not many have played in West Indies. Like I'm sure, like of Ashwin and Jadeja have played a few Test matches here and there, but not many have played in Dominica. Do you think that could be that could be a worrying factor, or is the modern game too analytical and goes beyond conditions these days?
I'll go with the second point of yours. I think
Yes.
we are worrying too much. Like these guys, some of them, like they are one of the best cricketers, not in India, around the world. So like it shouldn't be that much of an issue. The pitch shouldn't be the factor. And I think the quality of a good batsman is like he can adjust anywhere. Like just see what
Yes.
Australia is doing right now in England. Like first two test matches, like they were literally on their heads. So though like I'm not underestimating West Indies, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I think it should be an easy sweep for us without breaking a sweat, and it
Yeah.
should be easy for Rohit and the boys.
Yeah.
And it would be like a pleasure to watch Kohli doing what he does best.
But not only Kohli, like I'm sure people are looking forward to seeing the likes of Yashasvi Jaiswal, the likes of Ruturaj Gaikwad, Ishan Kishan probably. Nachiket,
Shubman
we
Gill.
talk yeah, Shubman Gill of course, but he has been around the test setup for quite some time now. I'm still looking forward to seeing him, but I want to see likes of Yashasvi Jaiswal step up. Nachiket, I think the team composition is such that I guess only one of Gaikwad or Jaiswal can play, because assuming Gill would open with Rohit Sharma. Number three, there's no Cheteshwar Pujara, so someone has to slot in that number three spot. There have been talks stating that it could be Yashasvi Jaiswal who could be given his first cap there, because I think he already played in one of the warm up games, or a practice game or something, and he scored like a 50 odd if I'm not wrong. So are things inclining towards Jaiswal making his debut before Ruturaj Gaikwad, or what are your opinions on that? Because that's something which I see happening.
That's exactly what we are listening. That Yashasvi Jaiswal is likely to get the nod for the
Yeah.
first test. But you know, if we have to pick a number three, I'll go with Ruturaj, not because of the color that I'm wearing, but only because
There
of the
you
fact
go.
that only because of the fact that he's more technically sound
Yeah.
and has that patience in him. That let's say we have to negate the new ball. We
Yeah.
all know how Yashasvi will play. He'll be more positive and he'll be more open to scoring quick runs. But someone like a Ruturaj knows how to absorb stuff and knows how to get past phases. So, in my personal opinion, if we have to play at number three, I'd rather go with Ruturaj. But
Ruturaj.
Yashasvi is also an unreal talent. Absolutely no doubt about that. But at this stage, I'd rather stick with Ruturaj.
Yes, because but then the question which came in my mind personally is that if you're giving someone a debut, that too in a tour which is not in India, that's like you are traveling somewhere and you're giving someone a debut. I personally would rather see him open the innings, because that's where he's the most comfortable with. And let's try Gill at number three, but then there is another argument which can be made that play your best players in their best positions. What are your opinions on that?
Well, it depends what the management are planning.
Yes.
Let's say after a couple of years, we might not also see Rohit Sharma in the setup.
Yeah.
So we'll need to have a partner to Shubman Gill or altogether two new openers, because
Yes.
there have been theories that Shubman Gill would also slot in perfectly at number four or number five in the longer run.
Yes.
So it all depends on what the selectors are going, and judging by what the last couple of years have done, I do not see any roadmap ahead. So basically,
Yeah.
I'm just seeing that either of the two will be slotted directly at number three. And
Yes.
it would be a great move if Gill is at number 3 for the longer term, because
Mhm.
we have good openers in terms of these two, and also
Yeah.
a couple of them coming up in the domestic circuit. So if they plan that, let's say for the next 10 years, Shubman Gill will be a number 3 batter. So either of these two can open the inning. So
Y-
depends on how they are seeing. Are they seeing it as the current World Test Championship cycle where Rohit Sharma will completely feature in all matches if he stays
Yeah,
fit?
yeah,
Then
yeah.
they would rather go with someone like Ruturaj or Jaiswal at number
Yeah,
3
it's all at
itself.
number. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think the one other reason which I feel like you could, even though he is kind of an opener, you could like inculcate him into becoming a number 3 for the long run if there is something you can think about. But I think Nachiket brushed on that topic a little bit, Yash, and I completely agree that you can't see a succession plan yet in Team India. Like something when MS Dhoni was captain a decade ago, we already knew that once he is retired, there is a Virat Kohli who is going to step into his shoes and do the same things, but he kind of did it in a better way as far as Test cricket is concerned. No disregard to Dhoni, legend of the game, but you have to agree that he was much better. I think Kohli was much better of a Test captain than MS Dhoni. But we don't see that happening right now in Indian cricket. Like if I ask if you walk down on the road and ask someone that who is going to replace Rohit Sharma as the captain, I think you will get 10 different answers, hypothetically. But then is this, we have talked about youngsters as well, but is it a chance for the likes of Rohit Sharma, the likes of Virat Kohli to, step up and prove their worth in the team again? Because we have already established the fact that West Indies shouldn't bother our star-studded team. Do you think it's a platform not only for the youngsters, but for these established senior cricketers to, show their worth in the team as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Like you shouldn't treat any match as small or big. You just have to
Yes.
consistently perform. That's the end goal always has been. So I think it would be a good series for both of them as well as Rahane, because we like after the Gaba test he has been struggling a bit, but not too
Yes.
much.
He
So I
had good
think
outing in the World Test Championship final, though, so
yeah.
he has something to build upon.
So like this West Indies tour for especially these three, it also be a good warm up game, you can say. They can get back to what they do best. Specifically for
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma, I'm not targeting Kohli or Rahane, but like
Yes.
Rohit Sharma has to do something big. It's been
Yeah.
way too long. Like he has played a superb innings, which I can remember.
Yeah. In Test cricket, particularly, like he has been up and down and bit underwhelming, if that's the right word. Nachiket, age-old question and one of our favorites to discuss on this podcast: Ishan Kishan, Shikhar Bharat. I think this is the right time to unleash Ishan Kishan, if you personally ask me.
Yes, as I said in the last podcast that we discussed after the squad was announced,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
Bharat has got a run of 5 games.
Games already. Yeah.
Now, let's say that in the next test match or the next series, if we think optimistically, Rishabh Pant might be back in the scheme of things. You might
Yeah.
want to look at what Ishan Kishan has to offer, as we are not only trying a new keeper, but we are also deciding who will act as a backup in the longer run. Because if all things go well and Pant is back fit and firing as soon as he comes in, then there's no one that can even compete with him in the Indian setup for the test wicketkeeper role. But we'll need a backup, and in that case, I think Ishan Kishan is a brilliant option. Bharat has had his chances. He's a tidy wicket keeper, but can't be
Yeah.
relied upon. If we lose early wickets, we need a
Wh-
lower order to contribute.
Which we have
So
been losing, to be honest, quite a
exactly,
lot of time.
exactly. So in that case, I would go with someone like Ishan Kishan, who has that hunger in him to succeed in tests. We haven't
Yes.
seen much of him in the domestic circuits in Ranji Trophy, but whatever that we have seen in the last 5 to 6 years, he can be a handful, and he's the closest to Pant in terms of batting style. He can
Yeah.
I doubt he can create those miraculous moments, but he's someone that is an aggressive number 7 batsman, wicket keeper batsman, typical test
Yeah.
batsman that we have. And currently, I do not see anyone better than him, both in terms of as a wicket-keeper batsman in the Indian setup. So, time to give him a go.
Yeah, I think it is a high time because he has also traveled with the test squad for quite some time now, and I think he was part of the Border Gavaskar squad as well, if I'm not
Yes,
wrong. But
yes.
we opted to go with tried and tested wicket keeper rather than a tried and tested batsman. But I think it's the high time that we prioritize batting ahead of wicket keeping. Don't get me wrong, Kishan is a good wicket keeper. I think Yash can say that because he's a Mumbai Indians fan and he's been watching Kishan for quite some time now.
Mumbai fan. He plays very well for Mumbai. He has
Yeah,
Sharma as his captain. So Nachikeet, watch out.
yeah. Well, we are Indians. We somehow always manage to squeeze in a little bit of IPL talks here and there because we are Indians and we are built that way. But I had this one thought in my mind about how we should line up our bowling. And Nachiket, you kind of talked about it early on that you would rather play Shardul Thakur as a full fledged all rounder instead of Akshar Patel. But who are the two out and out seamers that you go for? Because those of you who don't know, Mohammad Shami has been rested, so there's just Mohammad Siraj, and he's going to lead our attack. But who is the one who will play alongside him?
I'd go with Unadkat for the fact that he has been with the team since the last 6 months,
Yes,
and he played a test in December. Did not outperform the other seamers, but did decently well. And if you are trusting a player for this long, he's in the setup for the last
yeah.
since the last December. I think that he deserves a go
I think he
in a
played in the
case like this
Bangladesh
where,
test.
yeah, he played in Bangladesh in December. So
Yes.
there's no Umesh Yadav, he's injured. There's no Mohammad Shami. There's no
Mhm.
Bumrah as
Yeah.
has been the case since the last year. So the one guy who has been in the scheme of things is Jaydev Unadkat, and it would be unfair if someone newer is given a go.
Yes.
So I'd go with him. I Along with Mohammad Siraj, he also adds left-handed point in
Yes.
the
So.
bowling lineup. So
Mhm.
these are the two pacers I'll go with,
Yeah.
along with
I
Shardul, of course.
Of course, and I'm assuming Jadeja and Ashwin are the two spinners.
Yes,
Yash, I don't see any arguments here. I think that's the way things should happen. Now, don't get me wrong. We are recording this a day and a half before the test match. Things could change. There could be a injury. Hopefully not. But if things happen as they should, I think this is the way forward.
I was just going through the squad and I also saw like Navdeep Saini has been included as well.
Yes.
Even we
Yes.
can pair him up with Siraj.
Yeah, you can do that. I think Navdeep Saini has also had a short test career, but once again he was part of that famous Gaba test, and he's also done well. But I kind of agree with Nachiket that if you are having someone in the squad and you are taking him along with all the tours and stuff, and you're then not picking, that doesn't make any sense. There's a reason why he's in the squad, and if you don't have your frontline seamer, it makes sense for that backup to come up rather than trying someone new. But yeah, I think correct me if I'm wrong, and viewers listening, you can correct me in the comments as well. I think this is the final. These two are the final test matches that we are going to play until the World Cup. I think the next test series is after
yes,
the World Cup, if I'm not wrong.
yes,
So because I brought this
yes,
point
yes,
up, I brought this point up because assuming everything goes as it should be, these two could be the final test matches where we don't see Rishabh Pant, possibly. Yeah. If if that is the case, then I guess Ishan Kishan should be the one, right? Anyone?
Yeah, like I don't see him like fully recovering before early 2024.
Yeah,
Like he still has a lot of things to do. He has just started walking and like
yeah.
there will
He's
be
in
practice,
NBSCA.
rehabs and everything. So I think we can
Mm-hmm.
expect his return like early 2024, Jan or Feb.
Yeah. I think we are talking here about, I think we are coming towards the end of this podcast now because we have talked and covered quite a lot of things about in Team India, and we talked earlier about West Indies as well, that they have a formidable formidable bowling lineup. Yash, sticking to you, and I know we are just here to talk about the first test match, and we don't want to go ahead of ourselves and predict the future. But if if I ask you to predict the outcome of the entire series, not only the first test match, would you go with a 2-0 win? Because I'm assuming Nachiket is going to go with a 2-0, and we'll ask for his reasonings shortly. But I think you are going to do the same, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I'm going with a 2-0 win straight away.
Yeah.
Like questions asked.
Yeah, because we usually tend to play really well against these kind of oppositions. And Nachiket, I don't even need to ask you, but you can go ahead with your predictions.
Should be 2-0.
Yeah,
Anything.
should be.
Yeah, yeah. Either they can pull out a heroic effect, West Indies. In
Yeah,
that case, two Indians will be disappointed that they did not win. As mind you, this is not only an experimental series, but the start of the new World Test Championship cycle. And
yes,
what this 2-0 will do is give that extra points to India, as this is an away series.
yeah.
So it would work very well if we won these two matches convincingly.
It is kind of good that we have this kind of series now, because every game is crucial now. We cannot take any game lightly. Like, back in the day, we could, name a rotated 11, but now we cannot even afford to do that. But it's kind of good to see youngsters play, and looking forward to it. If you wanted to know, even I'm going for a 2-0 victory, not because we are arrogant Indian fans, but that's the reality that India and we are a really good side. India is a really good test side. Things happened in the World Test Championship final, but it's time to look beyond that now. Thanks for coming in, Nachiket and Yash. Yash, any parting thoughts?
All the best for the rest of the series for Ashes.
Yeah, oh, let's not talk about the Ashes right now. That's on the back seat at the moment. But about anything else?
It should be an easy start to the World Test Championship for India,
Yeah.
of a World Test Championship cycle for India,
Hmm.
and looking forward to these new combinations, seeing a new wicketkeeper hopefully, and also either of Ruturaj or Yashasvi, seeing
Yeah.
how they'll fare out in the series. And I'm seriously hoping that Rohit and Kohli score daddy hundreds, and even
Yes.
Rahane or Gill. These four of them need to fire and need to, we need to put a score of 5 to 600. If that's how the pitch can
Yes.
perform, we need that because the top order hasn't been firing. So we need daddy hundreds from our big players now.
Yeah, it's kind of high time. And when you face a team like West Indies, you want your players to do well, because expectations are kind of low. Don't get me wrong. Like, we have been talking very highly of Team India right now, but don't get me wrong, there is some pressure, but it's different when you visit Australia compared to when you visit West Indies, for an example. But yeah, it is high time now, not only for the not only for this test series, but we also want our players in form ahead of the World Cup. Those of you who don't know, we have a two test series against West Indies, but that's not all. We are going to play three one-dayers and five T20s as well. So it's like a full-fledged tour which Team India is embarking on. And I guess we'll see Nachiket, Yash, and hopefully Dwij as well for a majority of this podcast, as we cover the Cycle Pure Agarbatti series powered by Yes Bank or whatever shit that is. Anyway, that's it for this podcast. Once again, thank you, Nachiket,
Pleasure, man. Pleasure. Always a pleasure.
and Yash. Hopefully, we'll see you soon again. Thanks, man.
Always there.
Always. Yeah. So yeah, for the time being, this is me, Vatsal, Yash, and Nachiket signing off. Make sure you're tuning in, liking, sharing, and subscribing. But for the time being, ciao for now.